Hey everyone, it's finally February and that means it's time to get our garden boxes ready for the spring. As you can see behind me, our garden has definitely sustained a little bit of freeze damage. We just had our last freeze last week, so hopefully all that is over and done with. But one thing I've been neglecting is to get rid of some ants that have made their way up into our garden boxes. So I found 4 natural ways to get rid of ants, and I'm going to test it out on different ant piles in our garden boxes and see which one is the best. So let's get started getting rid of some of these ants. Ants have some pros and cons in the garden. For me, they're a big con. The biggest reason why I want to get rid of them is that they rot our garden boxes. And we have these beautiful garden boxes that we spend a lot of time building, and I just do not want them to rot out because we have ants in our garden boxes now. The other thing is that ants are attracted to aphids. Aphids are attracted to ants because aphids secrete a sugary substance and ants like to eat those, and so it helps create more aphids, and they like to hang around ants. And I have been having an aphid problem here, so I definitely want to get rid of ants as well. The third issue is that I'm getting ready for spring and I want to plant some new plants, and as I'm tilling up the soil, I definitely don't want to get bit because we have a lot of ants in some particular areas. However, some gardeners like to keep ants in their garden because they help till and aerate the soil, which that's great, and they have been doing that. But the cons have definitely outweighed the pros for me, and so it's time for them to go. So I have 4 methods to get rid of these ants. Let's see which one works the best. All right, the first method I have is diatomaceous earth, and I read that you should get a food grade variety. So they actually sell this at Lowe's or Home Depot, but I couldn't find a food grade diatomaceous earth brand, and so I bought this from Amazon. I really like it because it has a squirt bottle and it wasn't like a huge amount of diatomaceous earth because I didn't need like a ton. And so all you have to do is just sprinkle this on top of the ant pile, and apparently it takes a while, like maybe a week or 2, for the ants to react to this, but it should kill them. So of the 4 methods that I'm going to show you today, I have my money on this one that this is going to work the best, but we'll see in a week or 2 and see if this actually does kill the ants. But let's move on to the next method. The second method I have is using artificial sweetener like Splenda, table sugar that you have at restaurants. And so I have this, and it's really easy. All you do is sprinkle it on top of the ant mound. Oh, that's a lot of artificial sweetener. But you just sprinkle it on the ant mound, and apparently they do not like this artificial sweetener, and it should be gone hopefully in the next few days. So we'll check back in 2 or 3 days to see if this worked. The third method is using a combination of borax and table sugar. So borax is a natural product, but it does have some toxicity as a forewarning. Obviously, I don't think that I would pour borax over the ant pile. I mixed an equal part of table sugar with borax and put a little bit of water in there and mix it together to kind of make a paste. So I used half a cup of borax, half a cup of table sugar, and a little bit of water. And what I'm going to do is just leave this right next to the ant pile, and since it has the sugar in it, the ants will be attracted to it. They'll start eating or bringing the mixture back to the mound, and the borax will kill them. And so since it's such a small amount they're building, taking back to the mound, it shouldn't be an issue for toxicity. It's, again, only an issue if you just pour this entire box on your garden bed. So this should be good, and we'll see how this one works. All right, the last method is plain old cinnamon, and this is the easiest method because it's typically something that we all have on hand. However, it's good to note that this won't kill the ants, it'll just drive them out. I've used this before and it has worked, but the ants typically always come back, and if that's what you're looking for, you don't want to kill them, this is a great method, but I want to get rid of them. So I'm going to use this here, but I'll probably come back after in a few weeks and see which of the other 3 methods worked best, and I'll put that method on this anthill here. So really easy, just sprinkle it over the top. You definitely don't like the smell of cinnamon. I have a little bit down here too. And that's that. It's been 4 days since the initial ant experiment, and there's only one clear winner, which I'm really surprised about. The only one that worked was the ground cinnamon. I had used it before and I knew that it was successful, but I figured one of the other 3 methods would have worked. So the borax and sugar method, I don't even think the ants touched it. the artificial sweetener, it looked like the ants had eaten it, but they were definitely still there when I poked around in the ant pile, and maybe there were less ants, but they were still out there moving. And then the diatomaceous earth, it didn't look like it had done anything. And I read that diatomaceous earth does take some time, maybe 2 weeks for it to actually work. And maybe it'll work in 2 weeks, and I only gave it 4 days, but marks down on that one because I'm impatient. I don't have time to wait 2 weeks for these ants to go away. I want them to be gone now. So those are the results from the findings. Looks like ground cinnamon has worked pretty well for me. Let me know in the comment section what has worked for you. If you use ground cinnamon, that works, or maybe you have another method that I should try out, let me know. Otherwise, thank you guys for subscribing and for tuning in. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do, because I have a lot of exciting content coming up this spring. And I'll see y'all again next time. Bye.